हेलो एवरीवन, क्रेजी टू लर्न के यूट्यूब चैनल में आप सबका स्वागत है। और आज हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं न्यूट्रिशन इन प्लांट्स। वैसे हम लोग हिंदी में पहले ये चैप्टर डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, लेकिन फिर भी जो है ये एनसीईआरटी का इंग्लिश वर्सन है और इसमें भी हम लोग पढ़ेंगे और वही सारी चीज़ों को इंग्लिश में भी सीखेंगे। जैसे कि लिखा हुआ है कि इन क्लास 6 यू लर्न दैट फूड इज़ एसेंशियल फॉर ऑल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. So you also learn that carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals and components of food. These components of food are called nutrients or, and are necessary for our body. What is that is carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals and components of food, because these are very important and these components of food are called nutrients and necessary for our body. All living organisms require food. You know very well that plants can synthesize food for themselves, but animals, including human, cannot. They get it from plants or animals. They eat plants. Thus, humans and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants. Now, the first point is 1.1. The heading is mode of nutrition in plants. How? It's a very important question. How? So plants are the only organisms that can prepare food for themselves by using water, carbon dioxide and minerals. The raw materials are present in their surroundings, and the nutrients enable living organisms to build their bodies, to grow, to repair damaged parts of their bodies and provide the energy to carry out of life process. So nutrition is the mode of the taking food by an organism and its utilization. What is utilization by the body? The mode of the nutrition in which organisms make food themselves from simple substance is called autotrophic. What is the meaning of autotrophic? Auto means self and the tropo means the nourishment. So therefore plants are called autotrophs. Animals and most of the other organisms take in food prepared by plants. They are called heterotrophs. Hetero means other. Now we may ask where the food factories of plants are located. So whether food is made in all parts of a plant or only in certain parts. How do plants obtain the raw materials from the surroundings, and how do they transport them to the food factories of plants? This is very important questions. Let's see the next point, that is 1.2. Photosynthesis, food making process in plants. Leaves are the food factories of plants. It's very important questions. This sentence is very important. Leaves are the food factories of plants. Therefore, all the raw materials must reach the leaf, and water and minerals present in the soil are absorbed by the roots and are transported to the leaves. Carbon dioxide from air is taken through the tiny pores present on the surface of leaves. These pores are surrounded by guard cell. Such pores are called stomata. You can see the cell, picture of cell, that is nucleus part, cytoplasm parts and the cell membrane. Water and minerals are transported to the leaves by the vessels which run like the pipes through the root, like our vein. The stem, the branches and the leaves, they form a continuous path or passage for the nutrients to reach the leaf. They are called vessels. You will learn more about transport of materials in plants in chapter 11. The leaves have a green pigment called chlorophyll. It helps leaves to capture the energy of the sunlight. This energy used to synthesis means prepare food item, carbon dioxide and water. Since the synthesis of food occurs in the presence of sunlight, it is called a photosynthesis, जिसको हम लोग पहले भी पढ़े, that is प्रकाश संश्लेषण की क्रिया. The photo means light and synthesis means to combine. So we find the chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water are necessary to carry out the process of photosynthesis. It is a unique process on the earth. The solar energy is captured by the leaves and stored in the plant in the form of food. Thus, sun is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms. Can you imagine life on earth in the absence of photosynthesis? In the absence of photosynthesis, there would not be any food. The survival of almost all living organisms, directly or indirectly depends upon food made by the plants, besides oxygen, which is essential for the survival of all organisms produced during photosynthesis. In the absence of the photosynthesis, life would be impossible on the earth. During the photosynthesis, chlorophyll 2 containing cells of leaves, you can see figure number 1.2, and the presence of sunlight use carbon dioxide and water to synthesize carbohydrates, figure 1.3, and the process can be represented in equation, that is, you can see carbon dioxide plus water, that presence of sunlight, and chlorophyll, and then equation is carbohydrate plus oxygen. You can see the picture, that is leaf, guard cell, stomata, section of a leaf, guard cell, and stomatal opening, stomata. Now you can see the picture, that is light energy, carbon dioxide, oxygen, chlorophyll in leaf, water in minerals, and roots. Diagram showing the photosynthesis. You can see during the process oxygen is released. The presence of starch in the leaves indicate the occurrence of the photosynthesis. Starch is also a carbohydrate. Now the chapter, page number. Now the next point, synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrates. You have just learned that plants are synthesis carbohydrates through live process of photosynthesis. The carbohydrates are made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. These are used to synthesize other components of food such as the proteins and fats, but proteins are nitrogenous substances which contain nitrogen. From whether do the plants obtain nitrogen? Recall that nitrogen is present in the abundance in gaseous form in the air. However, plants cannot absorb nitrogen in this form, so soil has certain bacteria that convert gaseous nitrogen into visible form of release into the soil. These are absorbed by the plants along with the water, and also you might have seen farmers adding fertilizers rich in nitrogen to the soil. In this way, the plants fulfill their requirements of nitrogen along with the other constituents. Plants can then synthesize proteins and vitamins. Now the next point, 1.3, the other modes of nutrition in plants. What are the other ways? There are some plants which do not have a chlorophyll. They cannot synthesize food. How do they survive? And from where do they derive nutrition? Like humans and animals, such plants depend on food produced by other plants. They use in a heterotrophic mode of nutrition. You can see figure 1.5. Do you see a yellow wiry branch structure twining around the stem and branches of a tree? This is a plant called kaskata, means amarvel. It does not have a chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant on which it is climbing. The plant in which is climbing is called the host, since it deprives the host of valuable nutrition. Now you can see the picture. Cascata means amarvel on the host plant. Cascata is called the parasite. Are we and other animals also a kind of parasites? You should think about it and discuss with your teacher. So you can see the picture, the Cascata amarvel on a host plant. Now then, have you seen or heard of a plants that can eat animals? There are a few plants which can trap insects and digest them. Is it not amazing? Such plants may be green or some of the other color. Look at the plants in figure 1.6. The pitcher-like or the jug-like structure is the modified part of the leaf, and the apex of the leaf forms a lid which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. Inside the pitcher, there are hair which are directly downwards, and when an insect lands in the pitcher, the lid closed and the trapped insect gets entangled into the hair. The lid closes and the insect entrapped. The insect is digested by the digestive juices secreted in the pitcher, and its nutrition are absorbed. Such insect-eating plants are called insectivorous plants. Is it possible that such plants do not get all required nutrition from the soil in which they grow? So you can see the picture, that is like this. The pitcher plant showing lead and pitcher, leaf modified into pitcher. Now the next point, that is 1.4, the saprotrophs. You might have seen packets of the mushrooms and salt in the vegetables market. You may have also seen fluffy umbrella like patches growing in moist soils or on rotting wood during the rainy season. Figure 1.6, you can see. Let us find out what type of nutrition they need to survive and from whether they get them. Now the next point 1.5, how nutrients are replenished in the soil. Have you seen farmers spreading manure or fertilizers in the field or gardeners using them in lawns or in posts? Do you know why this is done? You learn that plants absorb minerals and nutrition from the soil, so their amount in the soil keep on decline. Fertilizers and manures contain nutrition such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, etc. These nutrition need to be added from time to time and reach the soil. We can grow plants and keep them healthy if we can fulfill the nutrition requirements of plants. Usually crop plants absorb a lot of nitrogen and the soil becomes deficient in nitrogen. You learned that through nitrogen gas is available in plenty in the air. Plants cannot use it in the manner they can use the carbon dioxide, so they need nitrogen in a soluble form. The bacterium called the Rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert into a usable form, but Rhizobium cannot make its own food, so it often lives in the roots of gram, pea, mung, beans, and other leguminous provide them with the nitrogen. In return, the plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. Thus, they have a symbolic relationship. The association is a great significance for the farmers. They can reduce the use of nitrogen fertilizers where leguminous plants are grown. Most of the pulses dal are obtained from the leguminous plants. In the chapter, you learn that most of the plants are autotrophs. Only a few plants are parasitic or saprotrophic. They derive nutrition from other organisms. All animals are categorized as heterotrophs since they depend on plants and other animals for food. And can we say that the insectivorous plants are partial heterotrophs? So what is important keywords? So you know the means of autotrophy, chlorophyll, heterotrophs, host, insectivorous, nutrient, parasite, photosynthesis, saprotrophic, and the stomata. This is very important. And what you have learned, all organisms need food and utilize it to get angry for growth and maintenance of their body. Green plants synthesize food for themselves by the presence of photosynthesis. They are autotrophs. Plants like the cascata or parasite, they take food from the host plant. Plants use simple chemical substances like carbon dioxide, water, and minerals for the synthesis of food. Chlorophyll, water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight are the essential requirements for photosynthesis. Complex chemical substances such as carbohydrates are the products of photosynthesis. Solar energy is absorbed by the chlorophylls present in leaves, plants. Oxygen is produced during the photosynthesis. Oxygen released in photosynthesis is utilized by the living organisms for their survival. And many fungi derive nutrition from the dead and decaying matter. They are saprotrophs. And the last, a few plants and all animals are dependent on the other for their nutrition and are called heterotrophs. So these are important keywords, and what you have learned, read well, understand well, and gain your knowledge. Thank you.